Hello and welcome. Sound Design Hangout 11. And this is definitely going to be a pretty important sound design hangout because, hopefully you've been enjoying the other sound design hangouts. And if you have been, drop a like. This is going to be a good one because, especially if you've been enjoying those other ones, or maybe they haven't been as exciting enough for you, who knows? Or maybe they're too exciting, I have no idea. Because that's kind of what Sound Design Hangout was supposed to be. It was supposed to be that I felt like making sounds. And when I sit down to make sounds, I generally have a loose idea of what I want to work on. And what I want to work on will differ. Sometimes I'll have an idea. I'll be like, oh, can I do that? Am I able to figure that out? And then I wonder if can I do pulse width modulation in Wavetable utilizing, and we're going to get into Wavetable, by the way. So if you came for the Wavetable, stick around for the generative ambient, which, by the way, I had a breakthrough with generative ambient techniques. There's basically like two ways to do it when you use the MIDI effects. The first way is you basically set the notes you want to use with a chord device. Like we got this chord device, and then you would put an arpeggiator after it to cycle the notes. So that was the first way that you can generate like endless stuff. The other way is you actually throw an arpeggiator, and that's first, and then you throw a random, and then you throw a scale. Now, I made some of these videos. I made some of these videos about these ambient techniques. They're on my channel. I'm sure some of you have watched them. They're like some of my top videos. And it seemed like most of you who have done MIDI effects to create generative ambient music, I feel like most of you guys were doing it this way. And to be honest, because this was, I would say over the last 6 months, this has been the area of music production that is just making me excited the most. But I realized when I was doing it, I wasn't actually doing it that way with the random. And it's funny because I think like one or two people actually said in the video, like, why wouldn't you just use the random and the arpeggiator all the time? And I was like, well, there's like two ways to do it. The way I do it the most, as I've said, was the chord and then the arpeggiator after it. I like this way because, and I actually realized today, so this is breaking news, breaking news on the ambient Ableton scene. This YouTube Ableton guy, Gemini, figured an epiphany. Maybe it'll matter to you, maybe it won't. But somehow, if you're watching this, I have a feeling it will. Cheers. So, to take things back, the first way to do it is arpeggiator, random, and scale. And I'm going to drop a wavetable on here, and I'm just going to keep it real clean, just on a sine wave right now, record enable. And so here's the first way to do it. And just as a force of habit, I have to always put a limiter at the end. Okay. So here's how this works. And believe it or not, this order is important. So this is how this is how someone, let's just say the commoner uses MIDI effects. This is how the commoner uses MIDI effects to create generative ambient music in Ableton. Now, keep in mind, you can use follow actions with clips to do its own thing, and I have a video on that as well. But if we're just looking at playing one note, one big long note, it's MIDI effects, you can basically push play, step away from the computer, have it play forever, and it'll pretty much always sound good. So this is how the first person is. I call it the commoner because I feel like more people do it this way. I do it the other way. Not what one way is better, but the way that I do it, I actually learned today, especially with the arpeggiator and taking into consideration these different styles. You actually don't get to take advantage of these styles when you do it this way with the random and the scale. My way of doing it, just to remind you, they're just my preferred way. I do both. In fact, I did the other way, this random one today, because I just thought it was, I wanted to play around with it a little bit more. So I'm going to put random first. I'm going to put random first, even though it's not supposed to go first. And I'm just going to kind of show you why, just to educate you a little bit more that the order does matter. So here's what happens. For this to work, chance has to be up. Otherwise, every time we play a note, see this 0? That means right now I'm hitting a note. There's no random unless I jack it up. Notice how it's going plus. It's going plus because we're an add here, but I want maximum range. So I'm going to go with by. Oh, I'm going to turn off arpeggiator really quick. It's so weird that it's preferencing going up higher. So yeah, I'll normally keep it up here, but I have to keep pushing, okay? I have to keep pushing. So if I turn on arpeggiator and I get a bunch of notes, it's only selecting it. Each time I hold down, I want to hold down and I want it to cycle through. It doesn't do that because as soon as I hold a note, it picks a random note and then it repeats that. That's why I want random to go here. Okay, now watch this little slider here. We need it faster. Let's change the rate. Now, it's just a bunch of random ass notes. So we'll go into scale here. We'll click this button for the presets, and I'm going to go to Dorian because I think Dorian just sounds amazing. Dorian's basically a minor scale with, instead of the minor 6th degree, it's the major 6th degree. So it has this very futuristic-y not futuristic, like a fantasy type vibe. If you like Carlos Santana, a lot of Carlos Santana's, I guess he plays in Dorian a lot. It's a really nice feel. You should check it out. Smash the like if you know Dorian, have ever played the Dorian scale, or you just like the name of Dorian. Are any kids called Dorian? I feel like Dorian sounds kind of old, ancient, but then it also sounds kind of futuristic. So if you sum them together, I guess it depends which way you lean. So let's get back to this. So now it's going to, no matter what, it's going to be in D Dorian. Now here's the reason why this technique lacks. So right now we're on up. Now it's supposed to, if you hold down a bunch of notes, it plays it up. Con and diverge is a good one. It's the same sound. So we're actually not benefiting from these different varieties because I'm holding down one note, okay? And as I hold down that one note, it fires off 16th notes. And each of those 16th notes passes into random, and random shoots out random notes. And then this Dorian scale mode locks them all into the Dorian scale. Now, how the arpeggiator is supposed to be used is right now I'm going to turn these off and I'm going to hold down, I think it's a major 7 chord. So I'm holding down notes and it's cycling through them in this up-down fashion. If I do con and diverge, I'm just holding, I think a major 9 chord right now. I'm doing it on my laptop's. By the way, if you are hitting your keyboard on your laptop or your computer, and you're not getting any sound, click this guy up here, because if I click a note, nothing, click a note, got it, right? So here's the thing. When you do this method, you don't actually get to benefit from these styles because I'm just holding down one note. Now, I could hold down a bunch of notes, but it's still just going to generate a bunch of random notes because it's going to get passed through this random. And if I connect the Dorian, the scale, so that's how it falls short. So when we do it in my way a little bit later, because truthfully, I thought I was going to start with showing you a really awesome advanced feature in Wavetable, which I feel a lot of people gloss over because they're like, oh my God, dude, I'm just trying to wrap my head around Wavetable, let alone coming into here and exploring these oscillator warp mangle functions, which don't let that bother you. Don't let that intimidate you. I think I've learned Wavetable on a whole nother level. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but like, I didn't just learn these things in like a weekend, you know? Like I purchased a class that gave me my Wavetable black belt in a weekend because I paid them $80 and it also came with a free lunch and a bag of chips and a free beer. Actually, that probably wouldn't have happened. So here's something you might want to mess around with. Right now we got 16th notes. That's only relative to what BPM we have. What I've been liking is I've been turning it on free. I'm going to experiment over here and go to... Oh, actually we can't do that because we're on free. So just dial in whatever sounds good to you. Play around with the gate. That's how like long it is. It's like shorter, longer. So like that was down up. If I play up, because it's just random. So you actually don't get to benefit. You actually don't get to benefit from these modes. Now you guys might be thinking, and good for you, very astutely, you would say, well, why would someone prefer to do this setup? Or maybe you guys are like, Gemini knows the right setup. Why aren't more people doing it like Gemini? Well, here's the thing. The way I do it utilizes chord. So I know music theory. So I know, okay, I want the +7 because that's a major fifth. I want the 12 because that's an octave. I want a 14 because that's the major 9. Or it's the 9, and then I know I also want a -2 because that's a major 2 below the note that I'm playing, and then I'm going to do -5 because that'll be the 5th below. You know what I mean? And I'm going to do 22 because that'll be the flat 7, an octave up. I like it this way because of that. Playing with the chords. So I don't want to confuse anyone here. I'm going to delete random, and I'm going to delete Dorian. And now we have this. Notice how it's going up. Okay, well now let's do Con and Diverge. Beautiful, wonderful, and I'm gonna turn sub on. Like literally, we just had to click one button on Wavetable, and we're only using this, a sine wave. This is the default. Sine wave, saw wave, square wave. You can morph between them, but I'm not doing that. Because I want to start very basic, because we're not even messing with Wavetable yet. We're going to get there. And I guess you could say right now, when I do these SDHOs, I'm kind of just showing you where I'm at in my own evolution based on what interests me. Like, I don't know if I've said, I definitely have said, like, I play guitar, I play bass, I play keys. I've been playing them a little bit less because I've been a little bit more geeking out on like Ableton stuff, you know, because I just feel like I'm having all these like insights and epiphanies. So this setup right here, this is all you need. Sometimes I do put a note length, but that's unnecessary because you can play with this gate, and then over here you can play with the release. So like I'm gonna hold down a button and I'm gonna make it longer. So yeah, that basically means you don't need note length anymore. That's just how I used to do it. I used to throw that note length over here. So this technique is better because you now can unlock all of these different possibilities. Why? Because when I click one note, hold one note down, or if I just come in here to Wavetable and I just do this and I draw this C3, oh geez, I'm gonna delete that. Zoom in. And zoom out, legato. Because what I want to do is I want one note to play, or maybe I'll like change up the notes and I want to play this. I want something, because that's what I want to do, is that I want something that's just going to play indefinitely. I'm going to lower the volume a little bit. So why would we do it this way? And I'm going to show you a hack. If you're like, dude, I don't have time to memorize all of these different chord parameters. So the one advantage that mode has is that we can use the different styles in the arpeggiator, whereas before, yeah, it was in key, yeah, it's interesting, but we can't take advantage of these styles. The chord is also good because I know the intervals, I know their relationships to the tonic, like the root, and I know that this gives me this sort of a feel, and I can play around with that. Someone else who doesn't know it this way, they might not use this method, which I think gives you more flexibility. So let's just delete this. Actually, it's not delete. Let's click this button, because if you say, hey, I want to have fun, well, check this out. This is all the chord presets. So like Grandiosa. What the hell is Grandiosa? Now watch down here. Watch this change, okay? Let's hear what Grandiosa sounds like. I'm just going to click the same damn button. In fact, I'll launch the clip. And adjust the rate. Wonderful. Why did I delete all of that? Well, because I actually had, when I was thinking about what I was going to do for this video, I knew I wanted to do Wavetable because I've just been like geeking out on Wavetable right now. And I don't want to say I discovered something, but I just figured something out about Wavetable that's has me very excited. Dude, why is that playing right now? I didn't launch a clip. Both my hands are here. Are we getting taken aboard the UFO spaceship? Dude, I didn't launch that clip. Well, that's just weird, man. So we are going to go jump into Wavetable. It's your best friend, Wavetable. By the way, you want to figure out how to put Wavetable in 432 hertz. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We're going to get into it. Go to Audio Effects, Tuner. Come down to here, 432. Yours will say 440. I saved it as like a default preset, 432. So I'm going to click D. Ouch. Let's morph the wavetable back down to sine. And let's go over here. So this is here because it's 440. Now I need a way to see this damn thing so I can tune it, because the tuner is over here. Yeah, I can see it. Oh, actually, I can see it. So, if you detune it 34 cents, you will get 432 hertz. But because we're doing it to align our chakras, It's actually more harmonic if you do negative 33, because 33 is a master number in astrology, actually a master number in numerology. So it has to be done. Wait, why did that move? We're in 432, baby. Delete. So I actually wanted to teach you guys the advanced features of Wavetable, yeah. By the way, guys, not only am I going to teach you and make sense for you the more advanced features in Wavetable, the features that most people just gloss over because they're like, dude, you know, like I'm like in these wavetables, you know what I mean? And I'm like, you know, I'm like getting lost in these like things. Like I don't know what to do. Like there's all these like LFOs, there's all these like matrices and these envelopes. Like why would I use an envelope? Here's the thing, guys. I'm trying to make this all make sense to you. Do you want to know what the secret is to Wavetable? Guys, I asked you a serious question. Do you want to know what the actual secret is to Wavetable? And truthfully, the secret to all sound design? It's just subtle modulations. And this will lead into the advanced features down here. Normally this is on none, but we're gonna, it doesn't even matter which one we use, they all sound the same. And so here's the thing. I want to tell you a little bit about Wavetable without talking too much because I feel like talking a little bit less because I'm like, kind of just want to work with sound. I don't want to talk so much, but I guess I'm a talker and apparently like that's what I'm supposed to be giving to you guys. A lot of food for thought to like digest and marinate up there. So let's come over here. Actually, let's get this tuner back. Right now, guys, see this? I'm going to get something different. I don't like that. By the way, formant, that's like vocal like stuff. I don't like this one. So here's the thing. I'm going to play a note, this note. If I play it up here, sounds different. Play it down here, sounds different. If I hold the note down and do this, it does. Now, just so you know, I'm playing a D note. Actually, an E note. Okay? I'm going to move this up here. I'm going to give it some release because we're in, oh no, we're in envelope 3. No, amplifier, amplitude, that's the volume. We're playing an E, okay? Now, if I play up here, it's an E. If I play here, it's an E. It's an E, no matter where we play. So what Wavetable does is it alters the harmonic content. It alters the timbre by morphing through a wavetable. So no matter where you go, you will stay in key. But you get the ability to do this. Now you might say, why would I even want to do that? Well, here's why. I'm not going to move this at all. In fact, I'm going to put it right in the middle at 50. And I'm going to play the note D. It's just a There's a little movement, I think, just inherent in the shape of this wave. But what we do is we come to LFO, and we're going to turn retrig off. And I normally use a rate. So typically it's like 1 hertz is like what the default LFOs are set at, but it's like too fast, in my opinion. And I'll show you. So I'll come into Matrix, oscillator 1 position, start adding. See, See how it's going so fast? Is that too fast for you? Let's lower it. Subtle movements are best. So it's a D, look. Or excuse me, I'm playing a C note. Same note. Now, other forms of synthesis that rely on a filter, like subtractive synthesis, they're utilizing this. I'm not going to use these LFOs to modulate this filter. The reason why is because even though I get visual feedback with Wavetable, which by the way, guys, I do believe that the future of Ableton is every single time you use any of the built-in LFOs on the devices, they'll give you visual feedback. Because nowadays we basically need to go to like LFO to like get this stuff. So I'm going to map it to frequency. Too much to lower the depth. Again, 1 hertz. Just too much, too fast. Lower the depth more because I don't want it to go that much. Yeah, it's still too much movement. We're in OSR, so we can crank up some drive. All right, let's keep moving on. By the way, Wavetable is like my favorite thing now. But I also was like in love with Collision, but I haven't used Collision in so long. Literally like the last time since I made a video, so I might get more gems. But right now, I'm loving Wavetable. I'm loving those like ambient music techniques, which I haven't done in like months because since I made those YouTube tutorials, because it's weird. It's almost like I'm always trying to learn things ahead of me finishing music. It's almost like the finishing of music, the finishing of art takes back seat to me learning techniques, because there's this weird thing in me that's like, if you know how to use these most advanced programs in music and digital, like 3D digital art, computer graphics art, like you'll be able to, I don't know. Anyways, I want to keep moving because I feel like there's some nuggets of wisdom we're about to drop right now. Drop a like, subscribe if you like dropping nuggets of wisdom. Ableton wisdom, Wavetable wisdom, sound design wisdom, all kinds of kick-ass wisdom. Drop a like if you like kick-ass wisdom. Let's go. Okie dokie. So let's see here. So what's happening? We are modulating through this waveform to change it, to give it some movement over time. What are we doing with this filter? We're doing the same damn thing. But now, guys, let's come over here. Now you may say, oh, this is too much. This is too much. Pulse width, look what it does. Why is it doing that? I can't predict this. This is too crazy. You told me we were only going to stick to the wavetable. What if I told you that the only reason why you're doing this is just to get a tiny little bit of movement to your sound, to make it more interesting? Listen. Okay, Matrix. Let's turn up. Too much. Turn it off retrig. Turn down the rate. See how it's moving? And it's giving that little bit of thing. Now it sounds different. It sounds even better. By the way, see how I have a 0 for pulse width amount, but it's still moving in that crazy way? If you try to move sync won't actually respond unless you actually give it an amount. So if I put sync on 0 and I come into Matrix and I try to modulate sync, nothing happens. It only happens if I bring it up. I just found it out. It was a little quirk. So to be honest, guys, we could go to modern. do the same thing, just slight modulations, but I don't really want to because I like the way this thing sounded. I'm gonna give it some tone. So here's what I learned too. Oh, and by the way, I might as well mention this. If you do unison and you go to like any of these, see how different it changed? This is none. It's just extra modulation. That just makes an extra good thing sound extra good. 0 means none. Dial it up. You could even modulate this probably. Look. I'm going to turn it off because it's too much. I'm getting pleasure overload. I mean, look at this. It's beautiful. Let's come into MIDI effects and let's drop a pitch. Click, shift down arrow. Just make it beefier. So, what should we do? We're not moving on yet, because Wavetable lets you do 2 filters. Check this out though. Now you might say, I don't like this. Well, here, come over here. See serial? Put it on parallel. But I'm gonna do something else. I want to get a notch filter. And I'm gonna come into here and I'm gonna map this. Wonderful, right? It's beautiful. Like, look at this. Like, you get to watch it move. By the way, is this Next Level Ableton? Someone's like, I can't believe it. You know, I really like that guy. But then he was saying, like, is this Next Level Ambient? And that, like, triggered me because I was like, I thought I liked you. And now it's almost as if you are getting all in your head. Dude, that sounds pretty good. So anyways, let's turn it ambient, shall we? And let's do it the way that I prefer to do it. Let's drop a chord. I'm going to drop a chord here. The only reason why this pitch is here, everything I hit goes down an octave. That's because I'm playing my laptop keys. So I just needed to shift it down. So I'm going to put a 7. Why? Because if I hit a note and it plays a note 7 semitones up, that is a, say it with me, perfect fifth, which is the most harmonic note after the octave. An octave is the same note an octave up, which would be 12 up. Okay? Because we were messing around with Dorian. Dorian is 9 up. 9 up. I'm going to do 15 because that's the minor third, an octave up. And maybe 24 just for shits and giggles. And then another 22. No. I'm going to do a perfect fifth, an octave up. So that's 12 plus 7. That would be 19, I believe. And if we turn it off, we have... Now give me that thick, fat chord, 7 notes. Give it to me now. Let's drop an appreciator. And now we got it on up, so it's going to cycle through eighth notes at 90 BPM, up. Let's do count and diverge, because actually just do converge. A little bit too much highs for me, so I'm going to go into EQ and filters, drop in auto filter, Drop in auto filter. I love it. So what would we do? Go into amplifier and let's adjust the release. This basically is like how long will the notes be? By the way, I'm gonna go in here and turn sync off, because this lets us like be a little bit more like dialed in with it. Play with the gate. And then probably one of the most useful things next would be to get a delay. Now you might think like, oh, it would be great if we're gonna really like ambient this baby up, like get a reverb. Believe it or not, reverb is best when you have like a percussive sound, like a note, like a boom. Because when you have a boom, the tail goes into the reverb and it becomes, initially it's boom, but when you got the reverb it becomes boom. But if you have a sustained set of notes and you have like a boom, reverb almost muddies it up. It goes from like boom to like, actually what I just did made it sound better than it does. Just whatever, delay does, it makes it a lot better. So without delay, I'm going to turn dry wet down a little bit, feedback up a little bit. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. And again, it's off. This is on, off. I want to play it first. Put on the delay. You know what this needs? It needs a chorus. Totally needs a chorus. Dude, chorus, man. Anyone who hates on chorus does not know of the chorus. I'm just holding down one note. Command T, resampling. All right, let's get it. I'm just hitting one note, then going to another note. It's beautiful, right? Let's stop this. Let's put this. Let's turn this. Let's go into this. Let's go to this. Let's scroll into this. Let's move this into this. So that's cool. Wasn't really feeling it, so no more. So I'm going to take this wavetable track, Shift Tab to go back into this view. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to select it. I'm going to Command D duplicate it. Going to turn this off and I'm going to go back into this second one and I'm going to change it and I'm going to call it wavetable changed. Yo, I was liking that video the entire time until all of a sudden you came around and turned it into wavetable change, and it was the worst rename ever for a clip in the history of the internet and the Ableton, and it ruined it for me. Start making tutorials again, dude. What's going on? So, why I wanted to come into here? It's the same thing as our buddy over here, right? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to close this off by using the other technique. Chord goodbye, arpeggiator goodbye. MIDI effects. Drop an arpeggiator. We don't have to do anything, really. Same note. So what do? We do a random. We got to jack up the chans. Put it on by, so it goes above and below. So again, hear this. If you change the up, as I was saying earlier, to something else, it's gonna be the same thing every time. Drop the scale. Oh, put this scale after the random. Because think about it, it's generating random notes and it's throwing them into the scale. So click this. We could do Locrian, but it's like very inharmonic. Well, it's not inharmonic, but yeah, let's just do minor blues. Okay, I don't know, put it on D because we like D. Actually, I'm gonna put it on major. That sounded very similar to like just random chaos. Maybe it's because we're playing notes way too quick. Let's go major. I'm gonna put it back on here and sync. Put on quarter notes because I want to see, like, for some reason it doesn't sound like major chord. It sounds like chaos. Let's make it faster. Let's change it from major to, I mean, can we just do minor? Is minor anywhere? Is it minor not crazy enough for us? Put it back to free. Yeah, to be honest, guys, like, unless I just want to do something different, I don't see myself using this technique. I just don't. That can give you something wild and crazy that you weren't expecting, but you have to like massage all this stuff. I like this way because with chord, I'm able to basically pick this. I was basically picking out like notes of the Dorian, but I know what it is. You know what I mean? So I can dial these in. So if you say, well, I can't do that. What? You go up here. This takes you into the presets. Just play around. You know what I mean? Like just pick these. And I'm not going to because I'm like, I'd rather just have my chord stuff. So yeah, let's click play. Oh, wow. Yeah, no thanks. That was fun though, wasn't it? I'm going to have to stop it, otherwise I'll... Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, there we go. By the way, in that last SDHO, I had the climate sample pack, which is like so cool. It's free. It's on the Ableton website. I'm going to close it off with this. Warp. It pays to know how to mess around with audio, even though we use MIDI most of the time now. Just cause. Shift tab. There really isn't anything to do. I mean, honestly, like with these sort of things, I could like times it by 2. Like that's cool, right? Do it again. Too much, go to back. Shift tab. Let's go to reverb. Hybrid reverb. To be honest, like sounds like this kind of do a little bit better with some good old hybrid reverb. Gives it more character. Turn it off. Just gives a nice character. I'm going to go to chambers and large rooms. Because I want like a larger reverb. So there you have it, guys. Where were we? Yeah, so... Wavetable. I hope you maybe know Wavetable a little bit better now. Using MIDI effects to basically play one note and have it generate a never repeatable symphony of tonal music. It's amazing. I hope you like that. This is the 11th Sound Design Hangout. Yeah, maybe this is the best one ever because the techniques and the skills shared. It's the stuff about Ableton that excites me the most right now. So if you thought the other two were boring, even though I would say the things we covered were very important, especially if you like really like this, you really like Ableton and all this stuff. But I had fun. I think we designed some pretty cool stuff, and I will catch you on the next one.